All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're basically going on a treasure hunt, but not for pirate gold. Nope. We are looking for the real heavyweights, the most valuable, most precious metals on the planet. And trust me, the results are probably going to shatter what you think you know.
So let me just ask you straight up. When you hear the words most valuable metal, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Just take a second. You got an answer?
I'd be willing to bet a lot of money that for most of you, the word was gold. Am I right? I mean, it makes sense. It's the ultimate symbol of wealth. It's in all the stories, the crowns, the treasure chests. It's the classic.
But what if I told you that in the grand scheme of things, gold doesn't even crack the top 3? Seriously, there's a whole secret hierarchy in the world of precious metals, and today, we're going to pull back the curtain.
So welcome to the Real Precious Metals Countdown. We're going to start at the bottom of the absolute top tier and work our way up to the undisputed champion of all naturally occurring metals. Let's go. And kicking off our list at number 5 is the one everybody knows and loves, gold. For literally thousands of years, its beautiful shine and the fact that it doesn't tarnish has made it the symbol of wealth and stability. It's our baseline for value, but as you're about to see, it's really just the opening act.
Coming in at number 4, we've got platinum. Now, you've probably heard of it in fancy jewelry, right? But its real story, the reason for its value, is so much bigger than that.
You see, platinum is an absolute industrial workhorse. Sure, it's beautiful and durable in jewelry, but it's also a critical piece of the puzzle in everything from heavy industrial equipment to cutting-edge green energy tech, like hydrogen fuel cells. It's this double demand from both luxury and vital industries that gives it a huge leg up on gold.
Now for number 3, palladium. This is another member of the platinum group, and it is an absolute superstar in catalytic converters. You know, those things in your car that turn nasty toxic fumes into much less harmful gases? Well, as emissions rules have gotten stricter all over the world, the demand for palladium has just gone through the roof.
Okay, now we are getting into some seriously rare territory. In the runner-up spot, we have iridium, and this one has an incredible story. It is so mind-bogglingly rare in the Earth's crust that scientists think most of it actually got here by riding on meteorites that slammed into our planet millions of years ago.
And this is what makes iridium so special. It's one of the densest things in existence, and it is unbelievably resistant to corrosion. That makes it perfect for the most extreme jobs you can imagine, like in spacecraft parts or high-performance spark plugs. It's tough, it's rare, and yeah, it's literally out of this world.
And here we are, the number 1 most valuable, naturally occurring precious metal on planet Earth, rhodium. It might not be a household name like gold, but believe me, in the world of high-stakes commodities, rhodium is king.
Just look at that price tag. Around $229,000 for a single kilogram. Like palladium, its main job is in catalytic converters, but its insane rarity makes its price incredibly volatile and just, well, incredibly high.
So rhodium is the king of all metals, right? Case closed. Well, not so fast. Our whole countdown so far has been about stuff you can dig out of the ground. But the true, undisputed champion of value is something else entirely. Something man-made.
Get ready for this. $27 million for one single gram. Not a kilogram, not an ounce, a gram. Just let that number sink in for a second. It's staggering.
The substance that carries this almost unbelievable price tag is called californium, specifically an isotope called californium-252. This stuff is in a league of its own. It is so valuable it makes rhodium look like a bargain bin find.
And here's the key. You can't go looking for californium. You can't mine it. It doesn't exist in nature. It is a synthetic, nuclear metal that is painstakingly created, basically atom by atom, inside these incredibly specialized nuclear reactors. Its value comes directly from how unbelievably difficult it is to make.
Okay, so this all leads us to the big question, right? What is driving these absolutely mind-bending prices? Well, it really just boils down to a simple, very powerful relationship. The rarer something is, and the more critical its use, the higher its value. It's the ultimate game of supply and demand.
And wow, this chart just says it all. Look at this. On the left, you can see rhodium, iridium, and the others we talked about. But then, look all the way over to the right. That colossal bar, That's Californium. It's not just a bit more expensive, it is on a completely different planet. The gap is almost impossible to wrap your head around visually.
And this next chart shows us exactly why that gap exists. I mean, look, the metals we've been calling super rare, palladium, platinum, gold, their abundance is already measured in tiny, tiny parts per billion in the Earth's crust. But californium, its natural abundance is zero, a flat zero. It just isn't there. That is the definition of extreme rarity, and it equals extreme value.
So where do these incredible materials even come from? Well, the world's supply of all this ultra-valuable stuff is concentrated in just a handful of very specific places. Some are deep in the ground, and others are inside the most advanced labs on Earth.
This table gives us a fantastic overview. You can immediately see how South Africa, especially a place called the Bushveld Complex, is an absolute powerhouse for things like rhodium and iridium. Russia is crucial for palladium. And then look at californium. It's only produced in 2 places on the entire planet, the Oak Ridge Lab in the US and a facility called RIAR in Russia. That's it.
So think about what this means. The entire global supply of these critical, unbelievably valuable metals is controlled by a tiny handful of countries, and in one case, just 2 specific labs. The world's supply of rhodium depends heavily on South Africa. Palladium depends on Russia. This concentration of resources adds a whole other layer of risk and complexity, which is another huge factor in their value.
So, let's just circle back to where we started this whole thing. Most of us have been taught our whole lives that gold is the absolute pinnacle of value. But the reality is, the world of precious materials is so much more complex and, frankly, way more fascinating than that. There are these hidden champions out there whose rarity and utility put them in a completely different dimension of wealth.
And that's really the final thought I want to leave you with. When you start factoring in things like metals from meteorites, or materials synthesized inside nuclear reactors, and this intense global scarcity, what does the word valuable really even mean anymore? Is it about tradition? Is it about pure rarity? Or is it about sheer usefulness? It's definitely something to think about.